want the best and brightest from around the world to come to Harvard.
I do, but a lot of the people need remedial math. Did you see that? Where the students can't add 2 and 2 and they go to Harvard. They want remedial math, and they're going to teach remedial math at Harvard. Now, wait a minute. So why would they get in? How can somebody that can't add or has very basic skills, how do they get into Harvard? Why are they there? And then you see those same people picketing and screaming at the United States and screaming at, they're anti-Semitic or they're something. We don't want trouble.
Aboard Air Force One, he revealed that he took a cognitive test, which he aced, of course, much more so than any dumb lady Democrat could.
They have Jasmine Crockett, a low IQ person. AOC's low IQ. You give her an IQ test. Have her pass, like, the exams that I decided to take.
Now, you know what? There's only one way to find out. Let's do it on TV.
Once again, the internet completely malfunctioned. And for once, it wasn't because of Kardashians, TikTok dances, or confused cats. No, this time the chaos came from Jimmy Kimmel firing off jokes so sharp they probably triggered a presidential alert. The audience didn't know whether to clap, gasp, or file an emotional complaint. And the funniest part, Trump hasn't stopped reacting since.
And by the way, I took my cognitive exam as part of my physical exam, and I got the highest mark, and one of the doctors said, "Sir, I've never seen anybody get that kind of, that was the highest mark."
Shut down for like a month. The Republicans are trying to force Congress to choose between health care and food to open it up. We've got a bunch of ghouls running the country. Prices are high. People are suffering. And just when you start to think, well, it couldn't get any worse than this, God throws a curveball like this one.
Tonight, the urgent search for dangerous research monkeys that escaped from the wreckage of a crash on a Mississippi highway.
We got 21 monkeys that was on this, got 5 on the run.
Here's one of the monkeys right here. There's one sitting right there.
Some TV nights blend into the background. Then there are nights when Jimmy Kimmel turns a monologue into cultural history. The moment he set his sights on Donald Trump with laser-focused comedy, late-night TV officially entered legendary mode. No warm-up, no gentle intro, he launched straight into full roast mode. The studio gasped, then laughed, then realized they were witnessing something viral-worthy.
Special hello to those of you who are watching from the White House, and you know who you are. I woke up this morning, I'm in bed, my wife comes out of the bathroom, she's got her phone, she goes, Trump tweeted you should be fired again. I was like, oh. And then I went downstairs and made bagels for the kids.
For years, Trump has proudly talked about his IQ test like he won a Nobel Prize for thinking. If there were an Olympic category for self-compliments, he'd already be the gold medal logo. And Jimmy Kimmel noticed. No matter the topic, whether fast food, outer space, Trump could always circle it back to his amazing IQ, like it was the universe's most important fact.
If you've been watching our show over the past 2 nights, you know I've been working on teeing up a major event. I think it could be bigger than the Super Bowl and Jake Paul fighting Dick Van Dyke combined. It could be very big. And all the credit goes to our Commander-in-Chief, Donald Trump, who strongly believes he would trounce 2 of his least favorite ladies in an IQ test.
Kimmel joked about Trump's IQ bragging like it was some scientific breakthrough. The way Trump describes his intelligence, you'd think he decoded the secrets of human evolution. Kimmel painted a hilarious picture. Trump probably has his score on a t-shirt, a coffee mug, maybe even a glowing neon sign above his bedroom mirror. It wasn't mean, it was funny because of how dramatic Trump makes it.
Late last night, the Angry Orange posted, why does ABC Fake News keep Jimmy Kimmel, a man with no talent and very poor television ratings, on the air? Why do the TV syndicates put up with it? Also, totally biased coverage. Get the bum off the air. I'm the bum. And he posted this, I think this is interesting, at 12:49 a.m., 11 minutes after the show ended on the East Coast, which is nice. He watches us live. Hi, Mr. President.
Trump repeating his IQ story has become a tradition at this point, like a never-ending social media sound loop. Kimmel joked that Trump probably wakes up, salutes his own reflection, and congratulates himself for that test before brushing his teeth. The comedy wasn't about the test itself. It was about the legendary enthusiasm Trump brings to retelling it every single time.
Let AOC go against Trump. Let Jasmine go against Trump.
I agree. It sounds like a challenge, right? Now, as I've mentioned, not only do I want to see this contest happen, I want to make it happen. I believe this would be a once-in-a-lifetime television event. I want to give brilliant, bigly brain president a chance to teach those left-wing lightweights a thing or two about brain power live on national television. I'm calling it the James C. Kimmel Cognitive Aptitude and Mental Brilliance.
Once the IQ chapter had fully detonated, Jimmy Kimmel widened the blast radius. If Trump ever possessed an ounce of modesty, history has no surviving witnesses. Kimmel highlighted that self-proclaimed genius with perfect comedic craftsmanship. Every boast became a curated museum display. Every greatest accomplishment transformed into a full Broadway spectacle, imaginary fireworks, roaring crowds, and a spotlight only Trump could see. His confidence, his victory laps, his relentless self-applause, Kimmel showed that Trump is his own parade float. Trump narrates every moment as a historic triumph. Kimmel simply reframed him as a one-man hype machine treating trivialities like world-altering events.
You are aware of the fact that the president, for whatever reason, has challenged you to a duel of the medulla, yes?
I am very well aware. I know that he can't seem to find himself in the Oval Office to make sure that he can end this shutdown, but he does have time to troll me. So listen, if he's down, I'm down.
Do you notice any kind of a pattern when it comes to people he frequently refers to as low IQ people?
They tend to be women, and they tend to be women of color.
Yes, so you are smart. Okay.
Then came the glorious bit on speeches. Jimmy Kimmel didn't mock Trump by imitation. He elevated a Trump speech into a full-blown superhero movie trailer. Every pause, every victorious inhale, every sweeping gesture became a moment where Trump clearly expected the clouds to part in his honor. Kimmel portrayed Trump at a podium like a one-man rock concert, powered entirely by self-admiration. The audience lost it, not because Trump was being attacked, but because the theatricality was too accurate to deny. The momentum kept climbing. Kimmel revisited Trump's greatest hits, the public feuds, the legendary ratings obsessions, the volcanic responses whenever a comedy show mentions him. To Trump, a late-night joke isn't a punchline, it's a political earthquake. To Kimmel, it's pure, renewable comedy energy every time Trump treats humor like a national security incident.
Thanks for watching us on TV instead of on YouTube. We appreciate that, and I'll tell you, it's viewers like you who keep us on the air, ironically. It's also sweet that even in the middle of the biggest sex scandal in the history of the American presidency, he takes precious time on the toilet to post about our show. Keep saying we have bad ratings, and you should listen to him, because if anyone knows about bad ratings, it's that guy.
President Trump's approval rating is tanking.
Plunging to a new low. A new low, even among...
The contrast between Trump's stone-faced seriousness and Kimmel's razor-dry sarcasm could power an entire comedy festival by itself. But Kimmel wasn't done. He wove Trump's legendary social media saga into the performance, reminding everyone of those emphatic, all-caps dispatches Trump treated like world-altering proclamations. Kimmel described them as ancient battle scrolls pennied by a warrior king mid-charge, each typed with the intensity of someone defusing a bomb while declaring himself triumphant. Then came the ratings obsession, the numbers, the charts, the self-mythology. From there, Kimmel plunged into Trump rallies, portraying them as full-scale concert tour where Trump is the headliner, the promoter, the merch guy, and the fireworks crew all at once. The hats, the chants, the spectacle. Kimmel reframed it all like political pro-wrestling, grand, dramatic, and irresistibly over the top.
Oh, but the Senate jumped in and voted yes by unanimous consent, which means the bill now goes to the White House, which means Trump's going to have to sign it. The goal was to have the bill passed by such a large margin that Trump can't put his little orange thumb on the scale and give it the old Cheeto veto. But make no mistake, this isn't over. He's not giving up easy. If anyone thinks he's going to release all the Epstein files, I've got a beautiful East Wing of the White House to sell.
Kimmel then glided into the theme of grudges, an area where Trump is, without question, an Olympic-level competitor. Comedian, journalist, politician, television host, or rogue household appliance, it doesn't matter. Trump stores rivalries like prized collectibles. Kimmel dissected this with calm, surgical amusement, as if Trump maintains a color-coded spreadsheet cataloging every slight and the exact emotional response required. The joke wasn't harsh, it was pure observation. Then came the chapter on Trump, the eternal victor, the undefeated champion of self-celebration. In Kimmel's telling, Trump's life plays like a blockbuster franchise scored with dramatic music and heroic slow-motion scenes, each moment ending with Trump imagining himself engraved into future history textbooks, bolded, highlighted, and underlined.
That's the lowest level of his second term.
That is the lowest it's been in his second term.
It is at a low of the second term.
The lowest of his second term.
La aprobación del presidente Donald Trump se desploma a los niveles más bajos.
Más lagos. What does that mean, Guillermo?
His rating is very low.
So that's bad.
Yeah, bajo, low. Yes.
I have honestly lost count now of how many times the president has demanded I be pulled off the air. I mean, talk about a snowflake, this guy. Every 5 weeks, he flips out and wants me fired. If you got this many threats from a neighbor, you'd have no problem getting a restraining order. The judge would be like, yeah, sounds like the guy's nuts.
The comedy hit its peak when Kimmel dug into Trump's reflexive response to criticism. He captured the pattern perfectly. Praise means truth. Criticism means conspiracy. Trump has long cast himself as a historic figure besieged by every force imaginable. Media, rivals, weather patterns, gravity itself. Kimmel highlighted how, in Trump's worldview, even the tiniest inconvenience becomes a betrayal worthy of an epic saga. It wasn't bullying, it was comedic magnification of years of Trump's own broadcasts. Kimmel also revisited Trump's eternal feud with television. Trump craves attention. Kimmel craves the comedy that emerges when someone craves attention that much. The audience wasn't pushed to hate Trump. They were invited to marvel at the absurd timeline where entertainment and politics fused into one long, dramatic punchline.
An almost unanimous vote by Congress, Trump's cronies in the Department of Justice still have the power to withhold information to protect ongoing investigations, to protect innocent people, or for reasons of national security. The DOJ can withhold entire documents, photos, and or video. But they would never do anything like that, would they? They're sworn to protect the Constitution of the United States. Something's fishy. Trump rolled over faster than that.
The final arc of the monologue was unforgettable. Jimmy Kimmel took Trump's lifelong fixation on publicity and lit it up with comedic brilliance. If publicity were electricity, Trump could power the national grid. If applause were vitamins, he'd be immortal. And if attention were currency, Trump would have already bought the moon and renamed it Trump Sphere 1. Kimmel made it clear that every era of Trump, businessman, candidate, politician, commentator, has run entirely on spotlight fuel.
Today, Trump welcomed an evil prince to the White House. He welcomed the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, who also happens to be doing business with Don Jr. and Eric.
Is it appropriate, Mr. President, for your family to be doing business in Saudi Arabia while you're president? Is that a conflict of interest?
And this is a guy who gave a green light to the brutal murder of Jamal Khashoggi, a columnist for the Washington Post. He was dismembered at the Saudi consulate in Istanbul.
He knew nothing about it, and we can leave it at that.
The Crown Prince did address the murder. He said, "We've improved our system to be sure that nothing happened like that. It's a huge mistake, and we're doing our best that this doesn't happen again." This is not what you say about a murder. They're doing their best to make sure.
And that is how one late-night monologue became a milestone. Not because Jimmy Kimmel attacked Donald Trump, but because he reminded the world how spectacularly absurd the Trump era has been, and how comedy was the only language big enough to explain it. Just when the audience thought Kimmel had reached peak entertainment, he found a fresh angle that sent the studio into laughter overtime: Trump's self-branding. Kimmel portrayed him like a 24-hour marketing department. Breakfast becomes historic. Golf becomes proof of leadership. Walking downstairs becomes a victory over gravity. The audience wasn't laughing at Trump. They were laughing at the cinematic way he frames his own life. Every action is an announcement, every announcement a myth, and Kimmel captured it all perfectly.
Trump rolled over faster than that dog Ghislaine Maxwell gets to play with in her country club prison. That's the other thing that's not getting enough attention. Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's wing woman, she had that meeting with Trump's deputy attorney general and former personal lawyer over the summer, and then coincidentally got moved right out of regular prison and into the kind of prison Felicity Huffman was in for getting.
The monologue then dove into Trump's merchandise empire, which Kimmel showcased like a museum curated by pure hype. T-shirts, hats, mugs, flags. He joked that if Trump could trademark oxygen, he would. Trump has always marketed moments with unparalleled flair, and Kimmel turned that flair into non-stop comedy. Each example made Trump feel less like a politician and more like the star of an ever-expanding franchise. With perfect timing, Kimmel transitioned to Trump, life-changing water, exaggerating every sip into a tale of unmatched excellence. Then he circled back to rivalries. Every statement, every microphone, every event becomes Trump's personal Super Bowl. Trump is the hero of his timeline. Kimmel is the storyteller refusing to let the superhero movie go unseen. The audience, they had front row seats to a comedy saga writing itself in real time.